Alright, back in the car again. I do the face cam thing that I did before, but my car's a mess. I got stuff piled up in the back right now. So, yeah, I'm on my way to work. And, not quite sure what direction I want to take just yet. Not 100% sure. In fact, I think I'll take... Well, we'll just see what happens. Just depends on how many cars are going the way that I want to go. Or if a train comes. Makes a big difference if there's a train coming. So, I wanted to talk about a few things, actually. You see, nobody's going to be in front of me from this lot, so I'm going to turn right here then. Anyway, what I was going to say was, I wanted to talk about a few things. You know, in video games, and in movies, and in TV shows that involve science fiction, and spaceships, they don't always go in and use realistic physics. Like, almost never. And that's kind of an interesting thing, because in science fiction, it's supposed to be the future. We're supposed to be so advanced that we can just point a ship in a direction and chug on over, because the engines are so powerful, or whatever. But the reality of it is, currently, no time soon will we be able to do something like that. Because, well, let's face it, we're not as advanced as, say, they are in Star Trek. Or Star Wars. Or Battlestar Galactica. See, Battlestar Galactica is a good one. Because the Vipers, the fighters that they use, are called Vipers. The Vipers are interesting. You see, they have no jump drives on board. They have no jump capabilities. They are just a bog standard fighter. They are designed to be launched from a carrier of some kind, or, well, they can be landed and launched from just about anything if they had to. But they're designed primarily to be launched from a launch tube on a Battlestar, and use their main boosters. Well, they have 3 thrusters and an afterburning ability. So they're designed to be extremely fast and lightweight, and highly maneuverable because they have thrust vectoring nozzles mounted all around them that use some kind of compressed gas to aim in to allow the ship to spin and rotate in any direction in space. They, from what I can tell, for the most part, obey the laws of physics. So, as, you know, in terms of Newtonian physics. And if you watch Battlestar Galactica, the newer one, you'll see this. they will cut their main engines and drift. Well, they won't shut them off, but they'll bring the throttle to 0. And they'll drift at whatever speed they were going at indefinitely. And then they'll use the thrust vectoring nozzles to spin and rotate their fighter to aim and fire at targets like a turret. So what they'll do is these really high speed maneuvers where they'll power down their engines and then rotate 90 degrees sideways and do a strafing run on an enemy ship where they're shooting at the hull of the ship while going past it sideways. So they can train all their weapons on just doing as much damage down the side of the ship as possible. Whereas... Oh, wait, let me continue. So the other thing is that they do have wings. They have 3... It's a very back-heavy ship as well, which is why they're able to perform very specific maneuvers, because the center of mass is back towards the cockpit and the engine. Coincidentally, the whole front end has a really nice smooth slope to it going towards the back, where it gets wider and wider like a dart. Like some kind of arrow, basically. And then it has wings, very small wings, but it has wings that are kind of at slight downward angles, almost, I don't want to say 45-degree angles, but they're very slight downward angles, which can provide enough lift for temporary atmospheric flight. And it has a single tail fin that follows the same profile that's up. So it has 3 fins, 3 wings, and what's good about this is that it can be used in atmosphere, and they have used it in atmosphere where they'll fly it, and they don't perform very well in the atmosphere at all, to be honest. Okay, that's slow, a little close there, but had to slow down a little hard there. So, they don't perform the best. But that's mostly because of the fact that they are designed for space combat with some atmospheric maneuverability, albeit very little of that. The other thing is in the same series, there's the Raptors, which are kind of the shuttles and like the small combat shuttle / reconnaissance vehicle. Its main job is EWAR, or electric warfare, and reconnaissance. They have jamming capabilities like counter electronic warfare, where they can hack and block signals, and they also are able to launch buoys that are basically torpedoes with communications devices, so that they can extend their communications distance and their radar distance. But they're also able to fly through the atmosphere. But what they have is a little different. They actually have vertical takeoff and landing thrusters. So they're able to take off and land vertically. But the other thing that makes the Raptor an important ship, is that it has a short distance jump drive. So that's very, very much useful for them. And they have a flat underside, and it kind of is wider than the actual upper side, and it kind of has a tail fin where the engines are in the back. So it does have some atmospheric quality, aerodynamic quality to it. You know, it has a flat underside for a lifting surface, and then it has the kind of fins that stick out the side that are wide enough that you can stand a couple people on them. So it's got some lifting surface to it. I mean, these are also used for mounting weapons, but, you know, so it's a very good designed ship, or a very well designed ship. You know, and then there's the Battlestar. There's one time where they bring it into the atmosphere of a planet, and it drops like a ton of bricks, and they have to use the jump drive to get back out into space before crashing into the ground. Because the Battlestar's engines are designed for space travel. So they really thought about the physics of things and how things work. But then you look at the shuttles. They don't really show a lot of fighter craft in Star Trek. But you look at the shuttles. They are pretty much flying boxes, for a lack of better ways of putting it. They're flying boxes. Plain and simple. So, I mean, yeah, they have the little, some of them have the little nacelles, but those are the engine nacelles. And yeah, they might be considered a slight aerodynamic surface, but, you know, they come in and then they hover and then they land vertically. You know, they are designed with extremely futuristic technology in mind, where they have anti-gravity engines that allow them to do something that causes them to be able to fly around any which way they want. Not very descriptive, right? It doesn't help. And the same thing kind of goes for Star Wars. I mean, look at the TIE fighters. Those things are the most unaerodynamic things ever. I don't know what they are. They're not really wings. They're not even good lifting surfaces. They have a strong enough engine to propel them through atmosphere, but they're not very good at flying in atmosphere, as I'm sure you might have noticed. And the X-Wings are built for space and atmosphere. So they're more capable of dealing with those environments, unlike a TIE fighter. That's just a little start on where I want to get to as far as this conversation goes. There's a little bit more that I want to talk about in terms of this, but we'll be getting to that another time. I need to go get gas for my car. Go fill the car up, then fill my stomach up. Not at the same place. So yeah, later on, Probably. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure which way I'm going to go with this. So, or when I'm going to pick back up on this conversation, because I have a shorter drive to make later to get to where I'm going. So, I think what I'm going to do is we'll cut it here for now. And I'll come back with another video at another time. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm just going to go on ahead and say bye for now.